been a while. Thank you for joining me again today. This is Steven with Corals Daily. So it's been a few months actually since my last update, and one of the main reasons why I haven't done so much update is because the tank literally looked like crap with a lot of the cyanobacteria algae. I still have a little bit, but much better growing in the tank, and also it was kind of go through a pH fluctuation. In between this time, I actually took a trip to Taiwan, where my family is, and I actually spoke to some of the local reefer there, very experienced and very professional people, and they told me that two things happened with cyano. One thing is the changing of season actually caused them a lot, and then the other thing is actually the combination of your biological filter, like using a lot of live rock, and having a protein skimmer. So it sounds like people who choose just one or the other tend to avoid it, but if you combine them two, tend to have it. At this point, it is kind of impossible for me to choose just one route or the other, so I continued down this route. What I did find helped me though, eventually right now cleared up most of cyanobacteria, is that I really increased the flow. And I actually did not hold back on feeding at all. I actually increased feeding too, because while you increase flow, what happens is that the increased flow actually raises up the pH level here and the oxygen level. In turn, it allows more bacteria to survive, and I can feed the fish more, and in turn the fish poo will feed the bacteria. So it's like a healthy cycle that I have right now. So specifically what I've done is that I actually added this jeb out here, which I will do a review about this thing in a little bit. Spoiler alert, it's actually dollar per dollar. It's one of the best water movers that you can find out there. And then I actually added, let me open the cabinets here. I added a couple of the Kessil A500s just on this end because I have SPS on this end. Again, I will do a review to compare the Kessil and the Radiant lights in a little bit. And also, a couple more things I've done is that I used to have my biological section over here right beneath where the return water flow. And then I had my skimmer on this side. So what happens with that is that the skimmer is actually getting very low water flow. There's not a whole lot of water that passed to the skimmer side. So I switched them, and I suspect that it may be one of the reasons everything's better now. And then lastly, I really went into my sump and I cleaned it up, pick out a lot of rock, rearranged, and add some of the rock into the main tank, boost some things up, and then I laid down this tile here, so I have all my chalice coral here sitting here. I lowered this light. This is just like a really cheap $200 grow light, you know, if you go to like a flower store or whatever. So I lowered this grow light about 2 feet from the ceiling, closer. So I have my macroalgae growing well, my softies, and then this chalice is here basically serving as my filtration system, along with a little mangrove there. And also I have this guy here, a second skimmer. So that's about all the changes that I've done, and it really helped to raise the tank's pH level from somewhere around like 7.95 to 8 all the way up to 8.4 during the daytime, and when the light's out I still have roughly like 8.2 in pH. So that's all good news. So next, in my next video, I think what I'll do is I'll go in, and this is kind of like preview, I'll probably dunk my camera into the water and I'll show you section by section some of the changes, some of the additions. I did add a lot more fish since we last spoke, and also some more corals. I did some rearranging, and then I also did some rearranging in this tank, and also some additions and excitements are coming out of this quarantine tank. So thank you again for joining me, and I will see you next time. Stay cool.